boys and girls. So just to introduce myself, my name is Miss Onjak. I teach third grade learning support here at PA Virtual Charter School. So like Miss Heather said, I am a teacher. Fun fact, I actually worked with Mrs. Rice this year. So Mrs. Rice and I know each other very well. It kind of feels like we're just in one of our classes right now. But we're going to continue talking about your Under the Sea week. I'm curious though, because I haven't been here all week. So I need you guys to fill me in. Did you talk about, I know you talked about sharks, but did you talk about like any other animals or specific things about the ocean? If you friends want to like write in the chat. Oh, you guys did talk about jellyfish?
On the first day, they learned some facts about jellyfish. So this will bring it
Oh,
full circle. This is going to be great.
yes.
Anybody want to give some facts about jellyfish or about any of the other things that we learned this week?
Yes. Tell me what you know.
Don't have bones. Oh, it's Carly. What else? Did we learn anything else about jellyfish? They have no heart
Yeah.
or no eyes and no
Yeah.
brains. Oh my. Oh, and look, Mrs. Rice is holding hers up.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say we made a little jellyfish craft this
Oh my
week.
goodness, so
Oh, and
cute.
Harper has hers too.
Oh, I love it. So
Oh,
ours,
I
it's funny
like
because
this
Mrs. Rice, we're making a jellyfish, but ours actually, it's gonna look like this. It's a little different. It's a jellyfish sun catcher.
one.
I
So a
Ooh,
love
yeah,
little
that.
I'm excited.
different, but well, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, it's almost and it's funny because I was actually gonna start by telling you guys fun facts, but a lot of you are already saying them. They can glow, which I did not know that before
Neither did
today. So
I. Mrs. Rice taught us that the other day, and you had a trip somewhere and you saw them, right? And that I'm like, okay, let's all go.
I
Let's go on the trip.
I did. I went to the Bahamas and I was telling them that we were eating dinner like out on the shore and there was jellyfish in the ocean and we could look down and see them glowing. It was
oh my
really
goodness.
special.
So,
Yeah.
Mrs. Rice, my question for you, when they glow, is it just like kind of like white, like a light color, or is it like a different
Well, I
color?
don't know if it was the lighting because we were eating like dinner out on the pier, but it was more of like a purple.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
okay.
almost like a lavender, like a light
Yeah.
purple is what it reflected on, at least for us.
Oh my goodness, that is so
Yeah, it was
awesome.
cool.
Very, very cool. Now, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but doesn't anyone want to guess, like, why do you think jellyfish glow? Because that's interesting. Like, not all fish do glow. So, do you think that there's a reason why they might glow?
We want to put it in the chat. Anybody know? This is a really smart bunch. They've known so many facts about sharks. I can't wait to see what all they know about jellyfish, even more that they learned than they learned on Monday.
Right. Oh, defense. I see defense to scare predators because it's too dark. Well, that would be helpful, right? If they were like
Right?
their own flashlight.
They're like a lantern of the sea.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, some of you friends actually did name it. Some of the reasons. So typically their light is actually activated by touch. So I am actually reading, I don't know this freehand. I mean, I'm reading this off an aquarium website, but they are activated by the sense of touch, which does it is used to startle their predators. So friends who said to scare away other fish or animals in the sea that might be trying to eat them or attack them, that is one of the reasons they use it. And it also helps them in a number of other ways, like attracting their prey. So they want things that they eat to come towards them to go towards the light so that they can then, yeah, basically get them for food. It's also used to warn other things in the ocean that a particular area is occupied. So I'm thinking what that means is if they have like their own specific spot that's their home in the ocean, they want other animals to know that that's areas already taken over by them and probably their jellyfish family so that they don't move into occupy their space as well. So I just thought that was really interesting because in my mind, the first thing I thought was, oh, it's probably like to see in the dark. That's what I thought too. But so many other reasons too, which is awesome.
Wow. So there are at least three reasons why they glow.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so cool. And I see Maya H said, "You think I came to your class one time?" Oh my goodness. Well, Maya, do you know who was your teacher this past year? If you want to jot their name in, I can let you know because I might have. Mrs.
Surprise.
Grimes. Yes.
Oh,
I know
Mrs.
Mrs. Grimes very
Grimes.
well. Oh, some other friends had Mrs. Grimes. Awesome. So I know Mrs. Grimes very well because, like I said, I am one of the third grade teachers. So I work very closely with Mrs. Grimes and I do share some students with her. So you guys have probably heard my name at least before because I'm sure Mrs. Grimes has said it. Yes. And you friends are moving up to fourth grade now. So excited. That's awesome. Carly had Miss Tyson. I know Miss Tyson too. Oh
She's
my
great. I just
goodness.
saw her at the Reading Phillies last week. She's
Oh,
wonderful.
nice. Yeah, Mrs. Tyson's awesome. Friends, I did put up here some of the materials that we're going to need to get started on our craft. So there's like a cute picture of kind of like what we're going to be doing, the Sun Catcher Jellyfish there. Ours are not going to look exactly like that. Everyone's is actually going to look a little bit different, which is really exciting. But I'm just going to show us the steps on how we make these. Yeah, one step at a time. Now, I know some of the materials, like for example, contact paper, that's something that I had to go out to the store and buy because I didn't really have that laying around my house. All the other things you might have laying around. But if you're missing any of the pieces, that doesn't mean you can't stay and watch and enjoy. Definitely stay, watch how I make it. And then that way, if you want to go out to the store later and get some of the tools, if you don't have them now, you can, and then you can always make it later. Because I know we're also recording. So you guys can always go back and watch it, which is nice.
Yes.
But I am going to leave this up here while I read just a few more facts about jellyfish. So that way, if friends want to kind of step away from their computer for a second to go grab these materials, you guys can. But my friends who are just kind of here to hang out and watch, we can talk a little bit about jellyfish more. So I'll keep this up on the screen. But I did also want to tell you guys, so we know jellyfish can glow in the dark. We know, well, I don't know if we know. Well, we did know this. We know that jellyfish they don't have brains, which again I thought was really interesting. And not only that, they also don't have any blood, they don't have any bones, and they don't have a heart, friends mentioned as well. However, this says that they do have something called an elementary nervous system with receptors that can detect light, vibrations, and chemicals in the water. These abilities, along with their sense of gravity, allow them to orient and navigate the waters to keep themselves safe. Really interesting. Another fact about them is that they can be found all over the world. So I know like certain type of animals need to live in certain types of temperatures. So some animals need to live in really cold temperatures. Others actually prefer the heat, like desert temperatures. Jellyfish are found actually in every ocean in every corner of the planet, from the freezing coldest waters of the Arctic oceans to the warm temperatures of the tropical oceans. So they can exist in different water conditions at different depths from the ocean floor all the way up to the surface. They're even found in some freshwater lakes and ponds. So really interesting. Another fact. Oh, what was that, Miss Heather?
I was just gonna say, has anybody ever seen a jellyfish in like a freshwater pond? I feel like I usually see them like on the beach, but that's
Right.
interesting.
I
I
know. I
thought they
know.
were saltwater creatures.
I know.
Interesting.
That's why I'm like, I want to know what lakes and ponds, what
We're
areas.
down there.
And then one more fact while our friends are gathering their supplies, and then we'll get started here is that did you know that jellyfish are the oldest multi-organ animals? So jellyfish have roamed the seas for at least 600 million years. So, yes, that means before dinosaurs or bony fish. That's how old jellyfish are. They've survived five mass extinctions. So, like, for example, dinosaurs are extinct. So, that word basically means that they're no longer living on the planet Earth. However, jellyfish somehow managed to survive those, and they're still here today. So, really, really interesting. They're honestly incredible animals that I did not know much about until I was preparing for Sea Week. So, I'm sure you guys have learned. I'm just reading the chat. It's funny. I'm sure you guys have learned about a lot of different sea animals and a lot of different facts this week. Alrighty, you guys. Well, if you could either type in the chat or maybe give me a little react button if you have your materials with you and ready to go. It's just a piece of paper, some ribbon if you have it, tissue paper, scissors, contact paper, and tape. And then we are going to get started. That's okay. So Gloria and Matthew are saying that they're missing a few of the items. That's okay. Like I said, you friends can hang around. I'm actually going to switch my camera so you guys can see my hands making the craft. I have like a little hover cam here. And then that way you guys will be able to see the step by step and how to make it when you want to make it on your own.
I have a
All
question,
right.
Mrs. Onjack. Is the contact
Yes.
paper the purpose really so when you put it on the window you can see through it? So,
Yes.
friends, if you don't have contact paper and you have regular paper, maybe just use the regular paper. If you have white paper, that might be the best, like white computer paper. I don't have a sheet right with me. Maybe something like this, and then maybe we can just supplement with that. Or if not, you can just wait. But that might just be an idea of something that you can use while you're at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And you friends can like I'll show you this step if you just have paper what you can do. We can still put the tissue paper on top of the paper. It might not be as translucent, so if you hold it up to a window or the light, you might not be able to see through it as well, but just so if you still want to continue to do the craft with us, that is totally fine. The contact paper is see how it's like kind of you can kind of see through it. See how you can see my hand through the back of the jellyfish? So when you hold it up to a window, the sunlight will come in and it almost looks like a rainbow shining through. It's pretty cool. So that's basically the main purpose of the contact paper. But if you don't have it, it's okay. Contact paper, I had a friend ask, what is that? That's a good question. So sometimes contact paper is used to cover like books. Like if you want to protect the cover of a book, it comes in rolls like this. It's flat. There will be a paper side usually, and then there's like a clear glossy side. So the cool thing is you can use scissors and cut out the size of the page that you need. And then when you go, and I'm going to show you guys this as we do our craft, you can actually peel off the paper side from the clear side. So it's almost like you're laminating it in a way, but you're not using like you don't need like a laminator machine. Alrighty, you guys. So we're going to get started here. Let me switch. So I'm going to stop screen sharing to start. I'm going to actually switch my video. And I would like you guys to let me know if you can see my new screen. So my hand's wiggling. Can you guys see my hand wiggling in my screen?
We sure can.
Awesome. And you can still hear me, which is good. Oh, thank goodness. All righty, you guys. So I'm going to sit up because I know you guys can't really see me anymore, but I'll be working here so that you guys can follow me step by step. So if you look here, we have our jellyfish. This is what the final product is going to look like. So this is when we are all finished. Now, what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you step by step how to make the jellyfish. So we are going to start by grabbing our piece of paper. So let me grab mine. I have all my materials over here. And it's just a plain white piece of paper. If you friends have construction paper, you can use that too. Really, any type of paper, cardstock. I'm honestly just using printer paper. So it's going to be a little bit flimsy, but that's okay because once I put my contact paper on it, it protects it. It makes it a little bit thicker there. Now I'm going to use, I know in our picture they did a black outline, but let's see, where did I put it? My favorite color is purple. But I lost my purple marker. So I guess I will do black. So I'm going to do a black outline. And when we go to draw our jellyfish's body on our paper, we are going to do, it's almost like this. It's going to be like it's almost like you're drawing a rainbow. So it's like an upside down U shape. And then the bottom, we're not going to go straight across. We're actually going to do like little squiggly lines, like little bumps and lumps. Just like that. So you guys can see that the body is already there. It almost looks like if you play Pac-Man, like the little ghost. Now, one thing that we do want to do so that it's easier for us when it comes to the cutting out time. Oh, nice job, Harper. I can see yours on there. You did a nice job. We want to make that outline a little bit thicker. So with your marker or your crayon or your pencil, we are going to just kind of thicken this outline a little bit. So almost draw like, see how I made it a little bit darker around the edges on this side? I want you guys to do that, but do it all the way around your jellyfish. We're not coloring him in though. We're just doing the outline right now. And then once you guys are done making the outline nice and thick, if you want to hold it up, we can see where you guys are at, how things are going. If you don't have contact paper, you can still do this part. Oh, awesome. I see Miriam is already getting started on the cutting out the outline part. Nice work. All right, you guys. All right. All right, you guys. So once we have this part done, we are going to do exactly what our one friend was doing. We're going to actually cut out. But friends, when you go to cut out your jellyfish, we're not cutting out on the black line. You kind of want to stay towards the outside of it. So you'll have that thick black line on the inside of where you're cutting. So we're going to go through. And again, I'm going to stay towards the outer edge of my jellyfish. And take your time. It can be a little tricky, especially when we get to the bottom, the super curvy part of the jellyfish. And here's the tricky part. So go slow when you're cutting the curves. And it doesn't have to be perfect. As your friends are doing your best, we're just trying to get that general outline there of our jellyfish.
On Jack, is this just regular paper? Or is this the contact paper?
No, this is just regular paper. So yeah, so
Perfect.
all friends can do this part. Oh, thank you. I just saw Maya's chat.
No problem. Yeah.
Yep. So all friends can do this part. I will let you guys know when the contact paper comes into play. So that way, if you need to pause, that's okay. You can at least get started on the craft with us. Yes. Good question, though, Maya. All right. And you guys will be able to tell when the contact paper comes in because it's going to look like this. It's like all rolled up, and I'm going to have to open it and show you guys how I'm going to lay my jellyfish on it. So that's good. Just a little bit. All righty. Awesome job, guys. So when you have your jellyfish all cut out, this part is, I'm not going to lie, this is probably the trickiest part of the entire craft. What we need to do next is that white space here in the middle, we have to cut it out. But while we cut this white part out, we want to make sure that we keep that thick black line together. So I can't take my scissors and cut through it like this because then it would break the bottom of my jellyfish. So what I would do just to get started on the inside is I don't fold the jellyfish. I just kind of bend it a little bit like this. And I take my scissors and I just snip right in the white part. So see this, how there's like a little flab in the inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and put it in that little pocket I made. And now I'm going to cut all the way to the edge. Again, I'm not cutting that black line at all. Now I'm going to be cutting on the inside of the black line. And I'm going to go all the way around. So you don't want to cut through the black line at all. You want to start in the middle and then go all the way around. And see how mine's not perfect? You can see a little bit of white still there. I just want to make sure I'm not snipping off the black because that's our border. That's going to be the outline of our jellyfish's body. And again, go nice and slow when you get to the curvy part. All right. So when you're done, this is actually just garbage now. So we cut out the inside of the jellyfish's body. I'm just going to put that off to the side because I'm just going to throw that away later. I'll have a little trash pile. But this is what our jellyfish's body should look like. If we flip it over, you can see the white is on the back. And if we flip it over to this side, you can see there's our black outline that we made with the marker, the really thick outline. All we did, friends, was we cut out the outline and then we cut out the white middle part of it. Now, does anybody know why we cut out the middle part? Awesome job, Maya. I see you're holding yours up. That looks really good. That can be tricky too. I think that's the trickiest part of this whole craft. Oh, nice, Harper. Awesome job, you guys. Let me flip through our cameras because I'm sure some other friends are sharing too. Nice, Shrish. Shrish, did I say your name right, friend? Awesome. Okay. I always like to ask because for friends who don't know Miss Onjak's name, oh, nice, Lizette. Awesome, Helen. You guys are doing, wow. I'm so impressed right now. And I see some other friends are still working. Friends, if at any time, I said this at the beginning, if at any time I pronounce anyone's name wrong, don't be afraid to correct me because for friends who don't know, my first name is actually Elise. So I'm Miss Onjak, but my name is Elise Onjak. And when I was growing up, so many people would call me Elsie or Ellis. And I would get so sad because that wasn't my name. So at any point, I know how you feel. And Mrs. Rice is shaking her head. Yes.
I got the
Yes.
same. I got Elsie. Yes, all of it.
So I always tell friends at the start of the school year and at the start of summer camp or the first time I'm meeting you, if I say your name wrong, do not be embarrassed to tell me the right way to say it. Because I remember when I was little, I would get embarrassed and then I would be called Elsie for a whole month. So don't be afraid. All righty. Awesome. So you guys, we're here right now with our outline. What we are going to do. Oh, Joey, I see you have your hand raised, friend. Did you have a question? If you want to type it in the chat there, friend. No, okay. Might have been. Oh, Emery, did I say your name right? People used to call you Emily all the time. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. I guess that just means we have really cool names. They're not common. Alrighty, you guys. So now this is where our contact paper comes into play. So again, contact paper looks like this. Usually if you buy it at a store, it's going to be in a really big roll. But I know like there's a craft that I'm going to be doing later in the summer that also involves contact paper. So if you're a friend who plans to do summer camp all summer long, and this is something that you want to invest in, definitely feel free. But like I said, you're more than welcome to just watch too. When we go to use the contact paper, right now it's all foldy because it was in a circular roll. So it's a little hard to flatten it. But once you find a corner, all you're going to do is peel. You'll see how it separates the paper from the clear side. We're going to be using this clear side here. So you're going to peel that off. It's almost like a giant sticker right off the paper. Let me move my jellyfish. I'm just going to lay this flat. So you guys can see it's very shiny. It's like very glossy and it's also see-through, which is key for a sun catcher.
Key side up.
Yes, sticky side up. Great point. Otherwise, you guys are going to be sticking to your desk. Yes, sticky side up. And this is another very important step, friends. Your jellyfish. We have the black side that we outlined and then the white side. We're going to put the black side or whatever color marker you used. We're actually going to face it down. So my white side or the back of my jellyfish is going to be sticking up. Now, when you go to put your jellyfish on, you might want to do like a little bit at a time like this. Otherwise, there might be lumps in your jelly. Like, see, I kind of have a little lump here on the end. That's okay, though. All you got to do is press it down. Just might have a little fold in it. Voila. So and this is what we have now. This is sticky side. So if I flip it in the air, you guys can see, aha, there's the outline of my jellyfish. It's coming along. I think we're getting the gist of this. Awesome. I see Harper's working on sticking hers down. Nice job. That's okay. Conley, did I say your name right, friend? That's okay if you're not doing it, if you're just following along. If you have any questions while you're just watching and following along because you want to work on it later, those are more than welcome as well. Alrighty, you guys. Now, if by accident you put your white side up, like you didn't, or I'm sorry, your black side up instead of the white side, like you kind of put your jellyfish flip-flop, that's okay because that's actually what I did on this one by accident. And you can see it still looks totally fine. So it's not like a vital step if you put the wrong side on. Just so you know, just so nobody gets upset. Alrighty, now we are going to do our tissue paper. So I'm going to put my jellyfish right here. I have this whole pile that I pre-cut. Friends who have tissue paper is going to be like this for like gift bags and such. So if you guys have tissue paper for gifts at home and your parents don't mind if you cut them up, you really don't need a lot at all. It's only like this right here was like not even a quarter of a sheet. So definitely just take, you could take one sheet. If you have different colors, I would suggest using different colors because it'll make your jellyfish more colorful. But if you wanted just your jellyfish to be all pink, you can just use one color. Totally up to you. But what you are going to do with the tissue paper is on the sticky side, we're going to put piece by piece and just lay it down. It's going to be all mismatched. So the more colors you use, obviously the different colors your pattern your jellyfish will be. Notice, friends, how I'm not sticking it outside the border here. So I'm trying to stay inside that white line, inside the outline of my jellyfish. But the key is you do want to cover up all the sticky parts that are inside the jellyfish's body. And I'm going to give friends extra time to do this step because I had my tissue paper pre-cut. And I know some of my friends might not. So take your time if you're cutting up your tissue paper first. Usually what I do to cut it is if I have my long sheet here, let me move my jellyfish. If I have my long sheet here like this, I literally just take my scissors. I'll just do a straight cut all the way down. You can also rip it if you don't have scissors handy. Just rip the tissue paper into clumps. But I'll do like a long line. And then I'll just snip little pieces off the end. I'll add these to my pile. All right, scooch those over. So I'm going to bring my jellyfish back because I am not done filling him in yet. So I've used pink, blue, green. I'm sure the colors are probably a little hard for you guys to see on the hover cam. But here's some purple I'm going to throw in. I chose pastel colors just because when I think of like pastel colors, I think of summertime. When I think of summertime, I think of jellyfish. You could do dark colors. That would look really cool too in the light. The cool thing about tissue paper is you can use whatever color tissue paper you want because when you hold it up to the window or the sunlight, no matter what color it is, you are going to be able to see through it because tissue paper is so thin. Put some blue down here. It's okay if your colors overlap. You guys will notice that here's my purple and I just put a blue kind of right on top of it. That's okay too. I do a few more pieces here. Do another green. Purple. All righty. So you guys can see that I covered the whole inside of my jellyfish. I didn't put any tissue paper around the outside border. When I pick it up and flip it over, voila, you guys can see that I can actually see right through the contact paper. So I can see the color of the tissue paper. I can see the outline still of my jellyfish. What we need to do next is seal the back. So what that involves is another piece of contact paper. We're almost going to be doing like a sandwich. We put contact paper on the bottom, jellyfish in the middle, contact paper on the top. So I'm going to take this contact paper and I'm going to do what I did with the first one. I'm just going to peel off the sticky side, put my garbage over on the side. Now, when I go to lay down this shiny piece of paper, oh, thank you so much, Emery. I know, I love pastel colors. Good for summertime. So I'm going to take this contact paper. I'm going to lay it right on top. It doesn't have to match the corners perfectly with your bottom because we're actually going to cut out the jellyfish anyway. So like you can see, friends, see how my corners didn't really match up at all here? This is still sticky. The main thing you want to do is just make sure that your jellyfish is totally covered. And if you want to use your hands and smooth it out, you can do that. All right, I'm going to pause there though, because that was a lot of steps at once. Let me see how my friends are doing. Awesome. Oh, Maya, nice job. That is so cool. I like the dark blue you have in yours too. That's going to look really cool in the sunlight. Miriam, nice job. I like that rainbow, Miriam. Is that contact paper? Like a rainbow contact? That's so cool. So you don't even need the tissue paper for yours then. You can just cut out your jellyfish shape.
Miriam, does your mom have a Cricut machine? I wonder if she has like oh no, because a lot of us have a Cricut machine and have those kinds of contact paper. It's very pretty.
Yeah, so cool. Miriam, did you do summer camp last year? You look so familiar to me, and I'm trying to figure out how. Do you go to PA Virtual? You do. What grade are you in? Oh, you're in third grade. Okay, so maybe I know you somehow through one of the third grade teachers. Awesome, awesome. All righty, you guys. Well, if we're ready, we need our scissors again. So we used our scissors. Oops, I just for all my tissue paper. We need our scissors because we are gonna now cut out the outline of our jellyfish. So we're actually gonna be cutting the contact paper here. So one thing to know is you don't want to cut on that black line or the outline we made. We're gonna cut out right along the edge of it. Just like how we cut out the jellyfish after we drew it. And definitely you can leave a little contact paper hanging over the edge. That way you know that your jellyfish is sealed. Because if you cut right up against the paper, sometimes that contact paper has the ability to peel off then. And we don't want that to happen. So give it like a little bit of space. You can leave like a little thin layer of contact paper in between your scissors and the outline black. We're going to go all the way around. Voila. And that is it. So I'm going to take this border that I cut out and I'm just going to put it on my garbage pile. Nice job, Harper. Excellent job making the outline of your jellyfish. Oh my gosh, these look so good, you guys. And I know some friends, like I said, are just watching. It's cool that you get to see what some of our other friends are doing too. So that way, if you go to make your own jellyfish, now we got some ideas. Like Miriam showed us that there's rainbow contact paper you can go out and buy. Nice job. Awesome, awesome. Okay, I see some friends are still just finishing up the cutting part. So I will pause. But this is what our jellyfish will look like right now. So we have our tissue paper on this side. His body's all done. So now all we have to do next, if I compare him to my final product here, what's missing? We only have one thing to do. Can anyone tell me what it is? We're comparing these two guys. Can somebody put in the chat? What are we missing? Yes, we are missing the ribbon. Abira, did I say your name right? I saw Abira type it first. The legs, tentacles. Yes, we gotta give our jellyfish some legs here, right? So we are gonna do some ribbon. Now, you friends will notice on my final product. Okay, good, Abira. I just wanted to make sure, friend. You'll see I have different color ribbon I use. So I used like light blue, purple, green, and pink, kind of to match the colors in my jellyfish. You don't have to do that. Like if you have black ribbon you want to use, you can use that. If you just have white ribbon, you could do whatever colors you want. But I have like a whole ribbon roll here. I actually went and I got this at the dollar store. So this was only $1 for all this ribbon, which is pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon roll and I'm going to measure out about how long I want my legs to be. So if you friends want little legs on your jellyfish, then you're going to want to cut your ribbon a little bit shorter. I like to have not super long legs on mine, but I might do like about right here. And I'm just going to put those off to the side. And I want to do a little, since I have different colors, I'm going to do a little bit of pink And a little bit of blue too. Let me do my blue first here. Here's my blue. And I made the lengths of my jellyfish's legs all different, which you guys can do that too. So they don't have to match up perfectly. I'm going to do some more green and purple. All right. And I think maybe I'll do two more. We'll do two more. So I'm going to do another blue and pink. And I'm going to cut this edge right here. Awesome. Okay, so I have all my ribbon here. You can see it's kind of curly right now. What I'm going to do is I'll take my jellyfish. This is his front side because I made my black outline the front of it. I'm going to flip it over. Now, you friends can kind of see why I didn't really make this my front side because you can kind of see the overlapping tissue paper on the border and things like that. So this is the side that I'm actually going to tape my little legs to. So that way, when I flip it again over to this side, the tape on the back is being hidden. So I'm going to flip it to its back side. I'm going to take, I just use regular Scotch tape. So if you guys just have regular tape, you can use that. If you have like little glue dots at home, you can use those. Really, any type of tape will work. So I'm going to do just a very tiny piece. And I'm going to start right in the middle. So I'm just going to tape this right on the back so it looks like this. So he has one leg so far. And then what I'll do is I'll place the colors in whatever spots I want them in. So like I might do the purple next. And again, friends, you can see how the how my legs are not all the same length, and that's okay. Like I said, all of our jellyfish are going to look so different. I'm so excited to see everybody's. Even mine looks so different from the example I showed you guys when I was screen sharing. I think I'm going to do green next. And then I'll do pink. Now, if you guys have one ribbon, it makes it a lot easier because you don't really have to decide which color you want what next to which other color. You could just kind of tape them all on. Okay. Now I'm about halfway done with his leg. So if I flip it back over, ooh, you guys can see it's starting to come together now. So this half has his little legs. I'm going to flip it over though, and I'm going to finish the other half. So I'll do pink. Let's see. Oh, one ribbon fell. I think I'm going to do green next. Switch it up. Awesome. And then I'm going to do purple. This one's a little leg. I have one more ribbon, so I think I'm going to put it right on the end here since I already cut it. All right, so you can see I have all my legs taped on there, all good to go. So when I flip my jellyfish over, it's kind of hard because he's laying, but there he is. Let me see if I can actually flip my camera back to me though, so you guys can see it standing, me holding it up. So right now he just kind of looks all crinkly. All right, there we go. So when I hold it out. Oh, so his little legs are all, and it helps because ribbon, when you get it in a package, it's usually in a circle. So it kind of curls the legs for you like a real jellyfish, which is really cool.